What is good, everybody, and welcome to Between Frets, a space where female musicians meet and discuss all things music. Shorny Shorn here, and it's now a new month. We still in quarantine. While y'all still out there, and while y'all start opening up, please stay safe. If y'all required to wear a mask, wear the mask. I don't like limitations either, but hopefully it will get back to normal once we follow these stupid guidelines, I would say. Yeah, so I'm staying away from all this coronavirus updates thing, and I'm gonna get to the bright side of things. So far, that very doing good. I am recording new music during this quarantine, at least to keep my mind at ease, to stay insane, because those that didn't know and didn't follow me on social media, and I did a live video and I talked about this, that I've been suffering depression for almost over 20 years on and off, and I also have anxiety in the state. So being on quarantine, not doing anything, it affects a lot of people that deals with this stuff. So how I did it, I just try to keep my mind sane. I keep myself busy. Being a mom, I help out with my kids with their schoolwork, and I've been doing like more chores and been doing more redecorating, but I still need to get back to my first love is music, and I just recorded like a couple new songs for y'all. Hopefully I might release one of them that I really like so badly once this whole thing is over and everybody be free and jumping around and stuff like that. And this type of thing, I write about a lot of stuff, but there's some things that I haven't never been writing before in my life, and it helps jump out of my comfort zone and be more spontaneous with myself. So you're going to see some spontaneous side of me based on the song and based on the vibe that I feel when I be receiving these tracks from different producers, and you never know what's going to come out of me. So make sure you follow me on my social media, when I might release some of their new tracks, or probably might do a live and give you a little sneak peek of what I got so far. You know what I'm saying? So also make sure you continue following us on our social media at Fret Sisters for daily posts. We're doing some changes. We got some things coming up, so make sure you follow that, because we do have some announcements for y'all in the later future. Also, make sure you shop our merch at fretsisters.storenv.com. Make sure you check that out, merch and stuff like that. And yeah, so I'm going to go, and I'm sitting here making breakfast right now, just getting my tea and my cream of wheat, and I'm gonna come right back. I will be speaking to one of the amazing guitarists, and I will tell you when I come back, but okay, I will say the name then. Okay, stop yanking me out of here. So this next guest I'm going to be coming back to, she is very amazing. She's one of the top female guitarists, one of the more well-known guitarists, and this season has been like we be getting some heavy hitters, and she's very talented. Her name is Nili Brosh, and when we come back, I will be speaking to her, learning about her musical journey, and also spill some tea. I would say we're going to be talking some tea. So when we come back, I will be sitting with Nili Brosh. So keep listening. And we are back. Our guest today was originally from Israel. She moved to the States at the age of 12. She's a guitar instrumentalist, a teacher, and a composer. She's a member of an all-female tribute band, Iron Maidens. She also performed with two well-known, famous female guitarists who were guests on our show previously. I think of them as kind of like the dream team trio. So everyone, please welcome Nili Brosh on our show. Hello, Nili, how are you?
Good, how are you? Thank you for having me.
No problem. We really appreciate you just taking your time out, since none of us ain't going anywhere.
Right.
Join in and have a chat. And we're going to start off on how you started. You started playing classical guitar at the age of 7. So what made you like, oh, I want to play the guitar?
Well, so for me, it was, growing up in a house with older brothers that liked music and always had some sort of classic rock music playing in the house that had a lot of guitar in it. And one of said older brothers became a guitar player. His name is Ibanez Brosh, and I wanted to be like him. And in our in our country at that time, the very common path to that was, well, you can't play electric guitar unless you learn classical guitar first, which has no logic to me now, but that was the rule. So that's where I started. And I certainly don't call myself a classical guitarist, especially someone at the age of 7, but I took some lessons and I dabbled and whatever, but I didn't really start practicing till much later.
Since your older brother, actually influenced you in playing the guitar, is there any other influences that influenced you to play guitar and gave you the sound that you have today?
Sure. I mean, I have many influences. It doesn't just end with the person that made you want to pick up the instrument. Although I'm very grateful to him for that. But I grew up. My favorite band is Extreme when I discovered them through my brother and Nuno Betancourt being the guitar player of that band. That kind of changed my life and got me into a lot of more hardcore electric guitar players, let's say, in the shred artists and stuff like that. So it was later that I discovered a lot of guitar heroes, like some of my favorite players, Andy Timmons, Greg Howe, Guthrie Govan, and but like I said, I have a lot of influences in different kinds of music through the years.
That is great. We always ask, you spill some little tea here, that we want to tell you your experience gigging for the first time. So can you tell us your first gig experience?
My first gig experience? I mean, I guess my very first gig experience would have been when I was taking those classical guitar lessons. The teacher that we had in our town kind of put together these little concerts at the end of the year at somebody's house where he would get the kids that he taught to maybe do a duet together or play something like that. So I think I had a duet with another kid that took lessons playing some classical etude or something, and I remember it being not that bad because I wasn't alone type of thing. But yeah, you know what, I don't think I've thought about that since then, so so that's funny that you asked that question.
Yeah, because usually when we have our first gig experience, for me, it's kind of I'm so nervous. I feel like I would hit the wrong note, and that's a read. So
yeah, I mean, I think I was too young to worry about that, and more just kind of it's going to be awkward because parents are there and you just have to get through it kind of thing. I think it felt more to me like that as a kid than I don't, I'm scared to perform. I think I knew my audience, you know what I mean? I knew who I was going to be playing to.
So you recently had a project in 2019 called Spectrum. Can you tell our listeners a little story behind that project?
Sure. So Spectrum is my third studio album, and it's an all instrumental album like the rest of my records. But it's a concept album, and it's a literal spectrum. It's a literal spectrum of genres that starts in one place and kind of fades from one genre to the next throughout the record. So you start in one place and end up in a completely different place.
Kind of it's kind of like experimentation to you?
Actually, it wasn't experimentation to me at all. It was it was kind of the result of a bunch of songs that came together that I was working on that didn't really seem like they would fit in one record because they were all in different styles. They all kind of had a different thing going on, and I just kind of thought about it, and I was like, well, how do I put stuff together that on one record that doesn't really seem like they go together, and then I kind of thought about it, and I realized that every one of the genres that was represented had at least one other thing in common with some other genre that was represented in one of the other songs, you know, whether that's a chord progression move or a sonic thing or a groove idea or like whatever it is. Like music is never really all that far from music, even if it seems like a totally different thing. So I realized that that was the common thread that all my songs had in common, and I just kind of tried to figure out, well, how can I make that into some sort of a progression so that that became the concept, is just kind of to show that music is all the same and it doesn't really matter. It can all work together as like a concise piece of music.
Yeah, that is so awesome. I can't wait to listen more of your music. Hopefully you'll bring out more new music soon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm working on some stuff that I'm trying to release, like, you know, from quarantine, but it always takes longer than you think when you actually get the stuff produced and everything, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I'm working on new music for sure.
Well, when I first started know a little bit about you from YouTube, of course, some of the videos that I've seen is called like Nili of the Week, which is very clever title, which I like. Are you planning on doing any more of those for YouTube?
Yeah. Get more. I mean, the way that the Nili started was more of a social media thing that I've been doing since like 2015, I think, and the videos keep coming. Some of them, sometimes they have different names now, you know, but like I definitely tried to keep up with the videos, and YouTube became more of a spot for me to kind of bring the greatest hits to. So mostly I try to keep up with the socials all the time, you know, once or twice a week, but I'm trying to cater to my YouTube as well and make sure that enough of that content gets hit there as well.
Well, I can't wait to see the new content. I really can't wait, because I did subscribe. You're friends with Jennifer Batten and Gretchen Menn, and y'all became like this, I think of y'all as like a dream team, as a trio. So how did y'all guys meet and just became that trio?
Well, so the way that came together is, well, first of all, Gretchen and I have been really, really close friends for years now, and we've kind of met on the internet. You know, we've known of each other. I think most female guitar players kind of know of each other, since there's not that many of them. I mean, way more now, but still, it's a small enough community so that you kind of familiar. But Gretchen was kind enough to send me a message one time saying really nice things about my playing, and she, you know, I don't know if she wasn't sure if I'd respond or whatever, but she felt like she was kind of like taking the risk or taking the chance or whatever, and I just thought she was so sweet, you know, and the rest was kind of history. We became fast friends and very close friends, and so for years we were talking about you know, doing something together with our solo material, because we both have albums out, and we wanted to put together a bill, and the first person that really came to mind for us to ask was Jennifer, you know, because she had been a hero of both of us, and definitely the representative of female guitar players in history and everything like that, and the legend to us. And so we kind of asked her. We both knew her a little bit, again, just from the community, and to our surprise and delight, she was just like, hell yeah, let's do it, you know. So we just decided to put some shows together and ended up having a great time. We all really like each other and had fun, and so we hope to, you know, we had plans to do it again that had to be canceled because of coronavirus, but we're hoping to return to it whenever we are able to.
And hopefully when we find out, we will definitely spread the word. You got to perform, you know, Cirque du Soleil, and I think it's the Michael Jackson Experience. And how do you get that opportunity to perform a phenomenal show?
Well, so Cirque has this thing where they actually have a casting website, and, you know, you can see the openings for different shows and everything like that. And when they were creating Michael Jackson 1 in 2012, I think it was, or whatever, they had an open casting call for a female guitarist, because, you know, I think even they knew that that might be something you need to publicize very you know, in a very public way, because it's not the easiest thing to find. So I just, you know, started out by sending them an audition tape and everything, and I was a finalist in that process. And then Gina Gleason, who's the original Muse character, started out with them, and then a few years later just kind of circled back, and when Gina had moved on to play in Baroness and do other things, they kind of circled back. I had another audition and ended up there for the following 2 years.
Yeah, because I saw some clips. It was on YouTube as well, but your performance there and got fire coming out from your guitar.
That's definitely the best part.
Yeah, because I was like, if it was me going out there with fire coming out there, I'm like totally scared of fire. I did Michael Jackson, my hair caught on fire from me.
To be honest, there's a reason why my wig was the only one that didn't get any hairspray on it. But no, they train you for that, you know what I mean? And you're shooting far away from you, you're aiming, you're like, the whole thing is built around a moment, and you do have a position and a spot and an aim, and you pause. It's not like you really have to think about, like, I'm running with this thing and I'm spraying everybody with it. It wasn't like that, But yeah, there's definitely some sobering moments where you look over and you remember the responsibility and the fact that you do have a 30-foot arc of fire coming out of the thing, so you kind of want to pay attention. But it's not as scary as it sounds. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it looked like you was having a good time on that one when you had your moment coming out and the fire. That's like kind of like the big, like, that moment when you come out and you just do your thing. And all you just want to do is just play. So this next question is very fun. So, like, if you're not doing any music or not doing any creativity, like, what do you like to do? So tell us a little bit about yourself off the stage. Like, what do you like to do in your spare time? Well, I really love hiking. I live out in the desert in Nevada, and it's not possible for us year round, unfortunately, because it gets too hot. But it's it's really beautiful out here, and I try to get out there as much as I can. Other than that, I'm very social. I love my friends. I don't get to see them that much right now, unfortunately, but that's usually a big part of my life. And right now with the quarantine, there's a lot of documentaries being watched, so that's what I've been doing.
Well, this next question, where we all are gearheads.
Okay.
We are great gearheads, so we love to research and learn about different gear as well. And according to what I see, like you like Ibanez fan, actually. Are you endorsed with Ibanez?
Yeah, I've actually been with them since like 2011 or something. It's been almost a decade, which is crazy. Feels like yesterday, but you know how it is.
Oh, that is great, because I've seen like two of the RG series. One is a 7 Prestige and it's a 927. Like, how does it feel when you like those guitars? Like, how like amazing the sound is?
Well, I mean, I think the sound is great, and it obviously depends on a bunch of different variables, and every guitar is different. But for me, Ibanez has been a great solution because the neck shape and size and everything is just kind of, I guess, conducive to the stuff that I play, I feel like. So playability wise already, it's something that I just kind of feel like it's easier for me to do what I do on those fretboards. And beyond that, they've been a company that's really able to cater to my different needs over the years. That I've had a bunch of different kind of gigs that require different instruments and different style guitars, and they were always able to provide me with what I needed. And again, that falls into the category of something that fits my hands and the way they move and the way that they produce sound, and so it's been something that always worked for me.
Well, also here that I found that you have a very structured practice regimen. Yeah. So can you tell us a little about your practice routine, like how you practice? Because a lot of inspirations to people that don't even have a practice routine.
Sure. I mean, like I said, I actually am really curious as to what's out there that I allegedly do. But for me, it's growing up, I spent a lot of my time picking up stuff by ear, whatever I could, because I missed the YouTube generation by just a couple of years, and so I didn't really have another way to learn guitar music if I wanted to. You know, I had to listen to the stuff. There were no tabs, there were no videos. It was really hard to find that stuff, so you kind of had to do the work, you know. So I spent a majority of my practice time growing up kind of on that, and then the rest of the time feeling like I'm filling in the gaps to try and understand what it is that I learned by ear. But, you know, now my practice is really a lot more about whatever I have coming up, you know, whatever project I'm getting ready for. And so it really kind of varies. But if I do have the luxury of time, which I have right now, but like, you know, usually I don't, I try to balance it out with different subjects that are, you know, important to me. So I might try to balance out some time between working on improv or working on, you know, technique, or working on my songs, or, you know, just writing stuff, or like, you know, I try to make it balanced across the board with things that are goals to me, just long-term kind of goals. And I do also try to balance it with kind of what I call playing for myself, you know, or just playing for fun with kind of no rules, and just playing whatever, jamming to something, or, you know, playing a song that I loved growing up, or like whatever it is, you know, just to kind of keep the reminder that it's not just a job, you know. I think it's important to keep a fresh reminder of like why you're doing this, because otherwise it can be really easy to get burned out or get caught up into something and forget why you got into it in the first place. So I definitely actually try to keep that a priority in my practice.
Well, I usually don't listen to a lot of rock or anything like that, but when I saw some of your videos, like your arpeggios, your pinch harmonics, your legato melodic melodies is so freaking sick.
Well, thank you.
Because I'm more of an R&B guitarist type of chick, but I usually don't pay attention to, like, you know, the song. I just look at like the techniques, and when I look some of the videos that you had like a close-up look with you playing with your fretboard, I was sitting here like, I'm kind of like one of those emojis with my mouth all open, like,
oh, you're very sweet.
That's what I'm kind of like every time I look at it. I was like, oh my God, like, and I'm gonna be talking to her.
You're very sweet, thank you.
Yeah, I was so excited, like I wanted to talk to you, because like when I first started out, and it was kind of hard for me to find a lot of female guitarists out here. Like even now they got social media, so when I put like type female guitarists, like one of your videos popped up, and that's when I started like learning a little bit about your playing, because it was kind of inspiring me to like, okay, I need to grab my guitar, I need to learn these licks. Get this right.
Thank you very much. I definitely really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, because it's like I was like, I can't believe I'm talking to her.
We're just all a bunch of quarantined people waiting for the world to open, you know?
Yeah, if I would see you right now, if I see you in person, I would be on my knees and singing "We Are Not Working."
I would not allow you to do that stuff, you know. It makes me feel so awkward. But you're very sweet, and thank you.
So, do you have any advice for any like artists coming up, or how to navigate in this music business, especially as women that we have to deal with this male dominant world?
You know, for me, I think one thing that's, I don't want to say that it's overlooked, but sometimes I feel like it is, you know. I think just like being a good person, being professional, like going into whatever situation you're going into, and whatever that manifests itself. If it's just, you know, I need to be prepared today, and I need to be respectful, or I need to, you know, open my mind to something, or like whatever it is, you know. I think people get so caught up in their goals, or, you know, whatever they think the path should be, that I think it's easy to forget to make that a priority. You know, it sounds too simple, but like, I don't know. I just think like, don't be a dick is kind of good advice all around. So, you know, sometimes it's as simple as that.
And that's a great advice to say.
You know,
I
mean,
now
the thing
feel
is
inspired.
That you remember too is like, past an audition or an opportunity or whatever, you know, whatever you end up doing, it's gonna be a relationship with other people, you know, just like any other relationship. And in the end, when someone's hiring you, a lot of times what they're really thinking is like, I'm gonna be spending a lot of time with this person and possibly traveling with them a lot. And, you know, like when you do that a bunch, you kind of realize that it's sometimes more important to figure out like that you like the people that are around you, you know. So people forget that that might be a priority to whoever's hiring them beyond like, oh, this person plays really well. You know, a lot of people play really well, but sometimes the boss prefers to be around someone cool, you know? So it's an important thing.
That's great, because it's like you only like not only you building a business relationship, but also have like that vibe with people when you work with. Because yes, you have normal people and you're gonna be around them all the time. You gotta have that right type relationship.
Yeah, you know, it's just like any other relationship, I think. You know, if it starts from the right intention and a good, I mean, it's gonna sound cheesy, but like if it comes from like the right place, you know, to me that's more important. But you know, everybody has different standards, I guess.
Well, we're going to put your social media on our show notes, but can you tell our listeners where to find you?
I am at Nili Brosh, which is NILIBROSH on Instagram and on YouTube. And then on Facebook, it's facebook.com/Nili Brosh Music. So almost exactly the same. We didn't quite get that one, but yeah. Those are the socials. And then there's nilibrosh.com as well, where you know, you can check out my merch, my music, and tour dates whenever the world opens up again.
Well, that is awesome. So there you have it, ladies and gents. I'd like to thank Nili Brosh for joining in with us today. Make sure you follow her on social media. Go to her website, check out her website, support her with merch, listen to her music, like her latest project. I want to hear it again. That's the type of album that you will hear it again and again and again. So make sure you check that out, and also follow us, Fret Sisters, on social media for upcoming events or anything like that, upcoming episodes or whatnot. And until then, I am Shorny Shorn Marshall. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope to see you on the next show. Bye.
Hey, Riff Girl, go on and play something for the people.
If you want to learn more about this progression, then you can hit us up on Facebook or Instagram at Fret Sisters, or email us at fretsistersmusic@gmail.com. Peace and love.